Hey guys, what's up? Lorena here. Welcome to your official week 1 of Mastery 2K19. So guys, this is your official week 1, but the first week of Mastery 2K19 is actually broken down into 2 parts. And the first part of this is the audit process. It is going to take up the first 3 days of week 1. So you've got 3 days to actually go through this audit process. However, it should take you about 60 minutes. Now, right now, you will have received a name inside your inbox. That is the name of the person that you are going to be auditing. You are to keep that completely private. You are not to tell anybody. You are not to go and engage with the content that you are analyzing when you are doing it. You are not to speak to this person that you are. It's like a secret Santa. This person is not to know that you are the person auditing them. Now, just because we are auditing in these first 3 days does not mean that you're going to stop creating content. You're going to continue creating content and carry on as normal. This auditing process is what is going on in the background. So everything that you've learned from the prep work around your branding and everything like that, and your message and stuff, you're still going to continue to work with that. Your proprietary language and all of that stuff that you now know for your brand, you're going to continue to work with that over this week and obviously moving forward. But particularly now as you're auditing, don't stop creating content just because we're in this process. You need to continue that on. So I'm going to go through this task sheet very quickly. However, there are a few key points that I want to make before I do that. Number one, when you are going through the auditing process as the auditor, your role is to actually take yourself back to the person that you were before you came into business. So we've all been there. You need to step into the shoes of a consumer. Otherwise, this is pointless. If you come and audit somebody's content from a mindset of things that you already know and you're running it through this filter, guess what? It's not going to be as powerful, as purposeful as it needs to be. So you really need to put yourself in the shoes of a consumer when you're looking at that content. And even as you're going through, you can check yourself like, oh, but what would an everyday person think about that? What would an everyday person with no insight knowledge actually think about that? Is that correct? So check yourself as you're going through the audit process as well, number one. Number two, I'm going to share with you guys this boxing analogy again. You know, I love my boxing analogies. Every time before my son goes to fight, I have some words with him, and the words are the same every single time. And this forms a part of the conversation that we have. And I'm talking about literally as he's got his gloves on before he's about to get in the ring. This is the conversation that we have. I ask him, what is your job? What is your job? And he responds to me the same every time. My job is to make him a better fighter, right? So what that means is when he goes in there, he has to bring his best self. What his job is to make that person in the ring, his opponent, a better fighter, so that they are a better fighter walking out of the ring than they were when they walked in. And that's his job to do that. I ask him, how are you going to do that? And he says, same every time, I'm going to love him. And that's the same as what you are doing right here. You are going to love the person you are auditing so much that you are going to hold nothing back. It's just like being in a boxing ring. You are going to hold nothing back. You are going to give your absolute honest truth. You are going to put yourself in the place of that person that you were before you stepped into business. You are going to look through those eyes. You are not going to restrict yourself. You are not going to worry about what somebody else thinks of you, what you're saying. You're not going to worry about hurting any other person's feeling, because the only thing that matters is that this person that you are auditing becomes a better marketer, better in business, whatever they're doing, better at it, better at their brand, better at being who they say they are and being able to express that to the world, better at it after you've completed the audit than before you did it. It's the same as my son. When he steps into that boxing ring, he has to love his opponent so much that he has no choice but to make him a better fighter walking out of that ring than he was when he walked in. That means he has to bring his best game. That means he cannot hide. That means he has to step up when it gets hard. That means he has to put himself in that place where, you know, he's not going to run out of energy, all that kind of stuff. So that's the same as you here. That's what you need to do. And I know that sounds a little bit intense, but if you guys know anything about me by now, you know that it's I'm a little bit intense. So this is the same. You need to put yourself, you're in the fighting ring, you are the fighter in this process, and you need to make this person better after your audit and their content better than it was when you walked in. This doesn't mean that you do it with judgment. It means that you do it with love. It means that you do it by following the instructions. It means that you do it by sitting down and giving it your focus. That's what that means. Here's another key thing. This is the third key thing that I was talking about. I want to touch on before I go through the sheet. Leadership. You are setting up your business. We would hope everybody that is coming in here wants to create some impact in the world. Whatever that looks like, whether you're building a team, a massive organization, whether you're looking at running events, whatever it is that you're doing, you are the leader in that space. And in order to be the leader, it means that you need to make decisions and be able to look at things from other perspectives that may not be pleasing to the other person. That's your job. That's what true love actually looks like. That's what leadership is. So we're not just talking, we're going further and beyond just, what's that word for criticism? Oh gosh, now I've forgotten, my mind's gone blank. Constructive criticism. We're moving beyond that. It goes deeper than that, guys. It goes deeper than constructive criticism. I don't want you to just think on the surface of constructive criticism. I want you to think about love. Loving somebody so much that you need to lead them to a place where they become better than they were before you walked into their lives. This is the vibration that you need to carry through this audit process. It needs to be taken seriously. So I want to touch on those 3 points first before I go through this sheet. Right, now remember what Logan and I said. We said to you that we learn something, teach something, repeat something. That's how we ingrain this into your physiology, into your body on a cellular level, into the way that you think, into the way that you act and behave and move through the world. And so this audit process is a super important part of this process for us, right? It means that now you're actually having the opportunity, after having learned all of these things, to actually take a look properly into somebody else's world and somebody else's branding and actually get to see it and audit it. So now you're teaching something as well. So now you're looking at something, you're repeating it and you're teaching it at the same time. This is how powerful this process is. So I'm going to move through this document with you real quick, and there's another document for auditing tools that form part of this process. They are both uploaded into the section as well. You will need both the audit and the auditing tools to complete this process. First of all right, guys, now I'm just going to go through this task sheet with you guys, just so obviously you get the information from me speaking to you on video, and then obviously as you're reading it as well. So the audit process, instructions: visit both the business and personal social media of the person that you are auditing, and then answer the questions below. Now, I don't want you guys to be going off and fixing up your personal social media, making them all congruent, whatever. Just leave it as it is. Carry on as you have been doing, as you've done from the learnings that you've had over the past week or so with the prep work and learning about your brand, your proprietary language, and all those types of things. So leave it as is. It's super important that this is an authentic process. So there are 3 stages to the audit process: feeling, browsing, and engaging. Your role as an auditor, and everybody's going to be an auditor and everybody's going to be audited. Your role as an auditor is to analyze, not to analyze, only to feel and then express without judgment as outlined for you below. Super important that you, before you do this, you place yourself in the shoes of the consumer with no inside knowledge. That's what I was talking to you guys about before. This is how you need to view the content. Again, you're going to use pen and paper, and once complete, please keep it in a safe place. Make sure that it's legible. I know sometimes when I'm taking notes, I go back and have a look at it and I can't read my own writing, so make sure that doesn't happen for you. Make sure that it's legible. We are going to make use of this information, so take note of it and keep it in a safe place. As I said earlier, it should take you about 60 minutes to complete and try and do it all in one sitting. No more than 60 minutes. We don't want to be sitting there, otherwise that turns into analyzing, right? So 60 minutes is probably a good time frame, because that gives you time to, if anybody's got videos up, you can go through that, you can read it, you can take your notes, you can go use the audit tools sheet, which we're about to go through now. So stage 1 is feeling. You need to go to the Facebook business page of the person that you are auditing. Take note of how you feel within the first 4 seconds, 7 seconds, and then 10 seconds. So that's all going to happen pretty quickly. You're going to click on it. You're going to go there. You're going to immediately feel something. I want you to take note of what that is and remember what it is. And then that's going to change. It's going to shift into something else. You may feel like clicking away. You may feel like scrolling. You may, I don't know, feel happy or annoyed or bored. That's all going to happen within that first 10 seconds, but they happen in 3 stages, 4 seconds, 7 seconds, and 10 seconds. So once you've done that, take a note of it, realize, okay, that's what happened for me just then in that experience. Then I want you to go to the vibrational words list. This is given to you on another document called Audit Tools. I want you to go to that list and select 5 words from the list of vibrational words that summarize your feelings in that 4, 7, and 10 seconds. Only 5 words from that list only, right? And then I want you to do the same on the person's personal page. I'm going to go into stage 2 now. I just had to scroll down to the second page here. Alrighty. So stage 2 is browsing on the Facebook business page and the Facebook personal page again of the person you're auditing. You're going to visit both. You're going to start scrolling through some of the content. You're going to look at the setup of the pages. You're going to look at the colors and the imagery that are used. Get a feel for the layout of the content and how one rolls into another. Take note of how you feel when browsing. This is kind of like when you go window shopping, okay? So the first part of it is like feelings. When you go window shopping, you're walking past, you're in a mall, you're just walking past, you see things popping up. That's the first stage, the feeling stage. And you get a feeling you might want to go in and have a look. There you enter into the browsing stage where you're having a look around. This is the same thing that you're doing here. Take note of how you feel when you're doing it, and then again select 5 words from the list of vibrational words that summarize your feelings from this browsing stage. Now they can be the same words from stage 1. They might be the exact same 5 words. There might be a few changes. Don't worry about it. I want you to not analyze, just select the words based on the emotion that you feel as you're going through this stage. And then stage 3 is engaging. On the Facebook business page and personal page again of the person that you are auditing, go back and begin to engage further in some of the content and imagery or video that's on there. So we're slightly going into an analytical phase, but really we're still from a point of just engagement. All right, so we're going through and we're reading through some of the content. We might go and read this person's pinned post. We might read their about section. We might watch a video that they've posted. Whatever it is, we're going to actually engage in some of the content, but we're not going to take any action on that engagement. So we're just going to we're not going to go and like it, comment, or anything like that. We're just going to engage with it, read it, or watch it, whatever it is. And then as you do this, I want you to use the vibrational scale, which also is part of the audit tools, to take note of the emotion within you. Is it rising? Where does it sit? Does it carry you all the way through to the point of connection? This is explained in the audit tools. If so, how would you like to engage now? But just, you're not actually going to actively do it, right? Do not engage with likes or comments. Just take note if it creates connection that provokes the feeling of engagement. Does it make you want to engage with the work, with the content that's there? So you will see in our audit tools, there's a vibrational scale. It pertains to the feeling of emotion rising within you. So it doesn't matter what the emotion is, you can just feel energy flowing up within you as you're going through the engagement process. If that content gets you to a point of connection, and remember what we say when it comes to working online, connection equals conversion. If it gets you to the point of connection, that means that you're going to take some sort of an action. That's what we need to try and get to. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll only get you to a certain point emotionally. Sometimes it'll rise and fall. And you need to take note of those as well. It's like, well, I was reading through this, or I was watching this video and the emotion felt like this, but then damn, like this happened and it just dropped right back down and I was totally not interested. That's the vibrational scale. That's what you need to rate it on this part of the auditing process. So take note of what that is and then mark it down, I suppose, like write it down where it was on the vibrational scale. And then the final task is the proprietary language. So after going through the audit above, can you take a guess to the proprietary language of this person, write it down 1 to 5. Write down 1 to 5. Oh my God, guys, write down 1 to 5 of their below. So like 1 to 5 words or phrases that you feel come through. 1 to 5 colors, you know, so like, oh, it was red was the main color. If it's just one, that's fine. Or you might be like, oh, I think of red, blue, orange, green, right up to 5. Same with brands, objects, or things. So write down 1 to 5 of any of those things. It might just be 1 for each thing, and that's absolutely fine as well. Boom. Okay, guys, that is the audit process. That is the audit process. Have fun with it. Again, remember, we're not telling the person. Go and find their business page. If you don't know where it is, it'll be inside the group page. For Mastery 2K19, we've put up a directory post there, so you can actually find this person's business page listed. Alrighty, see you guys later in the week.